So I love that J.K. Rowling saw this so-called hate law and said, she was out of Scotland at the time, but said, bring it on. And actually said, I'm saying all the things, like made a point of tweeting all the things and said, I'm coming back, arrest me. To the point where the police had to be like, we're not going to arrest you. She called their bluff.
Right.
We hope it's a bluff.
Right.
It might not be a bluff if you're not a billionaire with her Twitter following. But what do you make of this nonsense?
It's so interesting. I think J.K. Rowling actually really was hoping to be arrested. I really do. I think this is one of the most incredible second acts we've ever seen with someone who is already such a cultural powerhouse. I mean, this will be in the top of her obituary someday, what she did in terms of advocating for biological women. And what she is pointing out is the inherent absurdity of this hate crime law, which went into effect on April Fool's Day, which provides protections for every single group but women.
Right.
But women. So, you know, the two examples that she was sure to bring to the fore, which were, one was a convicted rapist, had raped two women, and while awaiting sentencing had decided he was going to change gender. Even his ex-wife said, never expressed an iota of interest in becoming a woman. By the way, raped me while we were married. And the second was a convicted pedophile who had assaulted a 10-year-old girl in a bathroom. And was also saying, hey, now I'm a woman and I'd like to be housed in a female jail, wonder why. So the notion that she should be pilloried for standing up for women when those voices are few and far between is it's absurd.
Yeah. It's so crazy. I was just reminded years ago, I don't even think I had a show in the primetime of Fox. I went on O'Reilly and we were talking about this trans prisoner. It was a man who was demanding, I think, the state of California pay for his sex reassignment surgery, so-called. And I mean, this is as somebody once said, ugly as a man, outrageous as a woman. And this was like the most unattractive person you've ever laid eyes on. And I commented on that on Fox News. And Media Matters must have devoted, I don't know how many pages and updates to what a disgusting person I was because I was pointing out how ugly this man was. And he was in prison for life. He had committed murder. It was like, could you please keep your eye on the ball? And I'm having that same feeling right now. We're talking about convicted pedophiles, convicted rapists being put into a woman's prison. And I don't care if they identified as a woman for the past 20 years. You're not. You've been living your life as male. And but the late conversion makes it even more in your face to the point where if we can't speak out about it, it's not just offensive to us, it's endangering.
So this may sound tangential, but I do think it's relevant. And I was thinking about this knowing we were going to be discussing this. One of my favorite books, and one that I think every woman should read, is The Gift of Fear by Gavin de Becker.
I love that book.
It's incredible. And in that book, he talks about, as a woman moving through the world, you should know that anytime a man makes you feel uncomfortable, whether it's, I'll help you with your bags, or I'll give you a lift, I don't know you, I don't want to hurt your feelings, that's how we've been conditioned as women, that there is no decent man on the planet who would ever want a woman to feel uncomfortable. So that should be your warning sign number one. So my question would be, for any man who late in life is transitioning, knowing that you're going into female-centric spaces and you are making those women uncomfortable, why is it on the women to make sure you are comfortable?
Yeah.
We're talking about the NCAA lawsuit, which was just filed.
Riley Gaines and others saying, why did you make us compete against men?
Right. And Leah Thomas, who is intact in the locker room, according to several women there, proudly displaying her genitalia, knowing it was making the other females uncomfortable, some of whom went and changed in the janitor's closet for privacy. In what world is this fair to women, to girls and women?
Yeah. This is what we saw recently at Planet Fitness. Libs of TikTok exposed this, where this man was in there, a 12-year-old girl was in the locker room, and he was posing as a woman as he shaved his beard. He's shaving he looks like a man. There's not even an attempt to look female. And he's shaving his whiskers off of his face while this young prepubescent girl is sitting a stone's throw away. And a grown woman, was also there, took a picture of him. They yanked her membership.
Right.
Her membership got yanked. You know, the women get in trouble for complaining as they're about to get arrested in Scotland for complaining. And these fake women get protection. That's why it's so outrageous that women aren't protected in the Scotland bill. It's not that we necessarily need more protection or whatever. I don't know. Fine, because they're like, oh, we'll do another bill. It's not about that. It's that by elevating the trans rights and not doing anything for the women, you've truly elevated them over us. And we already need laws that make clear they're not over us, that if anybody gets a right to reject or say no, it's us, because these are not women, they're men.
But it's not just even the protections, it's the sort of gaslighting, at least in America, that is sociologically now accepted, right? It's another way of silencing women. There was that famous story last year, and I'm sure it's still ongoing, of the sorority, which had a trans member who was demonstrably male and really sort of, it felt like a woman in drag. There's, this kind of Dylan Mulvaney-ish mocking a bit of femininity. And they all said, we're uncomfortable, but if we say we're uncomfortable, we're the bigots. We're the ones who get tarred and feathered and canceled. And the notion that women and girls have been put so far back so quickly, I mean, I would never have foreseen this 10 years ago.
It's horrifying. Well, that's like, is it Wisconsin's governor? I think it's Wisconsin governor. I have it here, Tony Evers. He just refused to sign the law that would protect athletes, female athletes. Yeah, Tony Evers rejected a proposal Tuesday to ban, via The Hill and the Daily Mail, to ban transgender student athletes from competing on sports teams consistent with their gender identity, which basically is the green light to boys to cheat. He says it's hateful and discriminatory and says as follows: I believe this bill fails to comport with our Wisconsin values. We expect our kids to treat each other with kindness, respect, empathy, and compassion. But he does not mean that we need to treat the girls that way. He means only trans students or so-called trans students. He doesn't give a damn about empathy or respect for the girls who don't want to change next to a penis.
It's astonishing that I can't imagine that these schools do not have legal teams that say you are one lawsuit away from complete ruin if a girl is assaulted here.
Right.
I mean, so I recently wrote in yesterday's column or Monday's column about this J.K. Rowling latest kerfluffle, whatever you want to call it. In Nassau County on Long Island, there's an executive called Bruce Blakeman, I believe, who signed into order. It was an executive order, not a law, protecting biological girls' sports and saying this is unfair to girls to have to compete against boys. They are stronger. They have more muscle mass. They have more testosterone. They have all of these advantages. And that was assailed by none other than Letitia James, New York's first female attorney general. What a turncoat. On the one hand, she's all about, let's take Trump down. He's a misogynist. He's all of these things. And yet on the other hand, she's throwing young girls under the bus. You're
so right. She was behind the Harvey Weinstein prosecutions. Yeah, you're exactly right. When the chips are down, you're talking about minor females. Her woke bona fides matter more than her actual caring for women, for girls. There is a case in the news right now. Okay, I want to make sure I get it right. Athlete Cece Tefler, born Craig. And Cece Telfer displaced college women in the finals of a women's invitational meet in Boston last month. We're talking about track and field. Tefler, the first openly trans-identifying male, meaning a man who identifies as a female, to win a women's NCAA national title in the 400-meter hurdles, ran unattached, which I think means not backed by a school. He bumped a female athlete out of the finals and then went on from there. He has been running track since grade school. He is, I'm not even going to give you a description. Let me just show you the picture. You see if you can guess which one is formerly Craig, now Cece. Which one of these might be a man? Is it hard to tell? Could it be the one who's 6'2"? Yeah, that's Craig. And Craig was on the university's male track and field team at University of New Hampshire for 3 years. This is not somebody who is prepubescent, where the bodies actually are closer to the same. Ran for University of New Hampshire as a man, ranked 200th and 390th, respectively, among Division II men in the 400 hurdles. And after transitioning, as I pointed out, qualified for the NCAA Women's Division II Outdoor Track and Field Championships during his senior year. Right after. Finishing it up, Let'sRun.com reports that Telfer ran slightly faster in the 400 hurdles competing as a man than as a woman. So he was a second better when he was running male, 57.34 seconds versus 57.53 seconds. So, I mean, barely. So the point is he lost nothing in his transition. And that's even though the men's hurdles are 6 inches taller than the women's. But when he ran as a man, he did not even score at the conference meet. And then when he ran as a woman, he became a record setter, NCAA winner, and so on. Now, by the way, according to Daily Mail, Cece, formerly Craig, is set to release a memoir later this year celebrating how, quote, she became the first openly trans, quote, woman to win an NCAA title. This is cheating.
It's, all you have to do, Megyn, is look. I was looking at that picture that you just put up. The body language, the demeanor, the expressions of the two female athletes on either side, they're already defeated. They know they have no shot.
Let's see that again.
They have no shot. What are they working for and sacrificing for and just putting, look at this.
You're right.
Look at this. Why are they being put through this pantomime? Through this, the race is over before it's begun. We know who's going to win. And the demeanor of Cece, which is just sort of like, well, it's all powerful. It's all, I'm here.
Here's a video. He's jumping up and down. He's psyched. He's ready to go. And these,
the hair flip is key.
They look like little people next to him.
Oh, yeah.
They look like children.
Yeah.
Next to this grown man who they have to run against. Otherwise, like Leah Thomas and what he put people like Riley Gaines through, their lives will be ruined. They'll be called bigots. They won't get job offers, etc. Let me tell you a story about a guy named Leo Grillo. Leo was on a road trip and came across a Doberman. This dog was severely underweight and clearly in trouble. Well, Leo rescued the dog and named him Delta. Sadly, Delta was just one of many animals that need help. And this inspired Leo to start Delta Rescue, the largest no-kill, care-for-life animal sanctuary in the world. They have rescued thousands of dogs, cats, and horses from the wilderness, and they provide their animals with shelter, love, safety, a home. April marks 45 years since Leo rescued Delta. Delta Rescue relies solely on contributions to do what it does. And if you would like caring for these animals to be part of your legacy, speak with your estate planner because there are tax benefits to helping. You can grow your estate while letting your love for animals live well into the future. Check out the estate planning tab on their website to learn more and speak with your advisor. We call dog man's best friend for a reason. You can help those who need it most. Visit deltarescue.org today to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.